Thank you. That's our show. Thank you to Jimmy and Anthony for being here, and to all of you at home for watching. We'll see you next time on Password. Now get excited.
What is going on? What is happening?
Tuesday, Connie Britton will leave you breathless.
Are you going to say a word?
Password, Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
There's only 44 bots in the live shows.
I love them. We are much better than this.
You are moving on to the live show.
AGT, new Tuesday on NBC and Peacock.
NBC4 News at 11 starts with breaking news.
Look at that. Okay, bailing out now. We got four people running out of that car that they just...
The search is on tonight after a scurry of suspects in the San Fernando Valley. Our Julia Ding gave us the play-by-play from News Chopper 4 live just before 8:30 tonight. The LAPD first reported a reckless driver near the Van Nuys Airport. After a few near misses with oncoming traffic, 4 people ditched the car at Lurline and Nordhoff and Canoga Park. Police say they have at least 2 of them in custody.
And more breaking news in Seattle, Washington. 2 people are dead and 5 more injured in a shooting near the Space Needle, including a 2-year-old child. This happened shortly after 6 this evening in the final hours of a food festival there. A witness says he heard a dozen gunshots and ran for cover.
What at first sounded like firecrackers, but it's just a little too crowded for that kind of thing. So then when the crowd started moving quickly in herds, you knew something was happening.
Police say they have a suspect in custody. The motive is still unclear at this hour. The festival organizers have not commented.
Turning now to our weather and the extreme heat we've been experiencing. Thank you for joining us. I'm Kathy.
And I'm Camilla Rambaldi in for Jonathan Gonzalez. Most of us will be kicking off the work week with another heat alert still in effect. Let's take you outside. This is a live look at our camera at LAX, and meteorologist Stephanie Olmo is here tracking those temperatures in your first alert forecast. Hey,
yeah, it's been a pretty hot stretch of days across Southern California. We've been dealing with temperatures in the 90s and triple digits, and now we're starting up a new week, and we're talking about very similar temperatures for your Monday. And this is why I know we've been showing this graphic for quite some time. We have heat alerts that remain in effect through at least tomorrow night. We'll see if this gets extended again, but we do have heat alerts. We have the heat advisories, the areas in orange that you see, covering all of Ventura County, most of LA County, Orange County, and the Inland Empire that remains in effect until tomorrow night. And then also the areas in this pink, including the Antelope Valley, the high desert, that is an extreme heat warning in place. So once again, there's that moderate to high risk for heat illness across Southern California, especially the inland communities where temperatures around the basin climbing to 90 degrees. We'll be getting close to 100 degrees again around the valley and Inland Empire. And for the high desert, temperatures will remain in the triple digits at 102. At 83 degrees for the mountain community. So coming down just a few degrees, but temperatures are still running above normal for this time of year. We are still dealing with elevated surf along the coast, so large waves and rip currents. And then later on in the week, we're talking about temperatures warming back up. We'll talk more about it coming up here in just a bit. For now, over to you guys.
All right. Thank you. And we are now more than a month into the cleanup of that warehouse fire at a food storage facility in Boyle Heights.
But the next part of the process could make the smell of rotting food worse in the area. The fire started back on June 17th. It was put out a week later on July 20th. Lineage said that the warehouse was only 4% cleaned up. Now, 6 days later, they say they have cleaned up nearly half of the mess. Mayor Karen Bass gave the company the deadline of August 13th. NBC4's Keenan Willard is in Boyle Heights, where people are now preparing for the smell to get worse before it gets better.
You can see work continuing around the clock here outside the Lineage warehouse in Boyle Heights. And standing here today, the smell of rotting food from inside this warehouse does not seem as intense or far reaching out into the community as it has in recent weeks. However, for people living and working nearby right next to this warehouse, they say the smell is something they are constantly dealing with.
You can't even be out here. It's really bad.
At his home steps away from the Lineage warehouse in Boyle Heights, Jose Alcaraz says the air has reeked of rotting food for weeks.
When it's hot, it's the worst they can get, especially at night. It's like we have to be with AC inside. We have to have air purifiers on. There's really not much we can do out here.
After the major fire at the Lineage warehouse last month, people living in Boyle Heights say they went from breathing in smoke to smell, as more than 85 million pounds of food began rotting inside the cold storage building. Nadia Scandary says the smell has seriously hurt business at her Boyle Heights food cart.
People are like trying not to throw up just from the air, so let alone trying to eat outside.
Tonight, Lineage says it's making progress in the cleanup, which Mayor Bass's office says they have until August 13th to complete. The company says they've removed about half of the food waste in the warehouse, and they're about to replace the wall between the burnt and unburnt part of the building. The company says during that 3-day process, the smell could be worse in Boyle Heights as rotting food is exposed to the air.
How about some real action? This is all late, first of all. People should have been taken out of that area.
Despite the progress, some who live and work in Boyle Heights are frustrated with the company's response to the fire. Some saying they believe Lineage should help with their utility costs.
The high-paying bill for electricity is the biggest thing. We've got to have the AC on pretty much, especially right now that it's hot.
Others telling NBC4 they believe Lineage shouldn't be able to operate in Boyle Heights after the cleanup is over. In a response to those concerns tonight, Lineage says, we've conducted an intentional and systematic program of door-to-door outreach to the households located nearest our facility to offer those families support in the form of vouchers for short-term housing, grocery vouchers, air purifiers, air conditioning units, and masks. We are also currently working through utility bill support with LADWP and SoCal Edison, as well as a direct cash assistance program to the same group. Residents are eligible for varying levels of support based on their proximity to the facility. Still, some say they don't believe Lineage's efforts go far enough after what Boyle Heights has been through.
Shut the company down and listen to what the people there are saying. That's really important,
Keenan Willard, NBC4 News.
For more context, this warehouse fire cleanup is just the latest in a string of environmental or hazmat emergencies in the area, many of them carrying health or life impacts that last long after. Start with the incidents that we have covered closely in the last year and a half. You see them on this map here. This was the oil spill in East LA that ran down the LA River, impacting the coast of Long Beach. Then there were concerns over the compromised chemical tank in Garden Grove, and of course the Palisades and Eaton fires in 2025. The worst single gas leak in U.S. history happened in 2015 in the Santa Susana Mountains. A ruptured well in the Aliso Canyon spewed tens of thousands of tons of methane, impacting parts of Porter Ranch, Northridge, and Granada Hills. That same year, the Exide battery recycling plant in Vernon shut down after it was found to be contaminating the nearby soil with lead. With factories, warehouses, and a large manufacturing footprint, the LA East Side takes on heavy amounts of pollution. State lawmaker Jessica Calozo represents the area, said recently, quote, hardworking, everyday, working class people bear the brunt of air pollution, of environmental hazards, of all these things that for some reason keep happening in the same neighborhoods. Also, in our Boyle Heights coverage, a new exclusive report from NBC4 investigates. A pest inspection done on Lineage property reveals deep health concerns for the community, how the mix of waste and heat could be increasing breeding for flies and the risk for a specific disease. Watch the full story on our website, NBCLA.com, and the NBCLA app.
Tracking two key court cases, both set to get underway tomorrow, starting with the preliminary hearing in downtown LA for the singer David. He is charged with the murder of 14-year-old Celeste Rivas Hernandez. Her body was found last year. Prosecutors say it was dismembered in the front truck of a Tesla registered to David. The hearing continues tomorrow after stunning details were revealed last week. The judge is weighing whether or not there's enough probable cause for the case to go to trial. Also tomorrow, we are following the case involving the Pepperdine 4. Fraser is charged with murder and vehicular manslaughter for the 2023 crash. Bohm claims he was being chased in a road rage incident when he crashed into parked cars. Those cars ended up hitting and killing 4 sorority sisters walking along PCH. Tomorrow, a judge will consider a new motion from Bohm's legal team to dismiss the murder charges against him.
And we have much more ahead at 11 from Catalyst.